She is the host and creator of Barbershop Stories. She's also been on Risk, The Moth Main Stage. Please give it for Dawn Fraser.
Well, this is this time about when I was in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Copacabana Beach, on a hammock, in complete love with this city. I'm like sitting there like eating coconut and like mango and fish, and there's this big, huge like Christ statue that's like overlooking the city, as if it's like forgiving the city of its sexiness, you know? It's like, I'm not so sure what it's for, but it is just magnificent. And like, people growing up had like idols or like, you know, celebrity crushes. My crush was Brazil. Like, I had a good celebrity country. Because Brazil was everything I wanted to be. I wanted to be sexy, I wanted to be suave, and I wanted to be like multicultural, and that's what Brazil was to me. So I was going to be loving my role here. I was brand new to the country, and I had only 2 responsibilities my entire time. One was to go around giving speeches about what it was like to be black in America, which I totally got. Like, I can talk about being black in America. Trust me. And the second thing was I had to learn Portuguese and become more fluent with the people and the language to be an ambassador of goodwill, which I was very good at being an ambassador of much goodwill. So this was going to be the perfect time of my life. But when I get there, I don't really know many people. I need to like make some friends. And so I'm hanging out at the subway one day, and I see this beautiful woman with like dark skin, and she has these braids. And I know I gotta look good in order to like, you know, get my sexy on, you know what I'm saying? So I approach her and I said, excuse me, like, where did you get your braids done? They're absolutely fabulous, and I want to get some just like it. And she's very impressed. She's like, oh, well, these are done by my friend, Hijani. And I was like, can I get her number? Does she have a salon? She's like, oh yeah, she works out of a house. I'll give you her number, but I'll come with you when you get your hair done. I'm like, okay, that's cool with me. I don't know why, but whatever. And so Hijani and Ivana come to my place 2 days later for me to get my hair done. And I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel sexy. I'm starting to look like me, Brazilian new me. And as I'm getting new into my character, Ivana and Hijani, they're starting to get a little intimate. And I was like, what's going on here? And then finally, Hijani turns to me and she's like, oh, we're like a couple? Are you cool with that? And I was like, am I cool with it? I'm from San Francisco. And they look at me like, what? And I was like, basically meaning like all my friends are either gay or like bi, or if they're not, they're like left of the spectrum. Okay, all of them. So yeah, this is cool. And plus, I just befriended lesbians that are a couple. Like, I just, like, my cool point just like went out the roof. Like, this is gonna be awesome. And so we start hanging out, and I'm loving hanging out with Ivana and Hijani because they're showing me all the things it's like to be a Brazilian. Like going to soccer games, and they say to me, Dawn, say, vai tomar no cu, like really, really loud. And so I yell it out, vai tomar no cu. And everyone's like yelling and chanting, and they're like, and I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, tomar means like take. I was like, yes. And like cu means ass. I was like, oh, take it up the ass. Got you. Vai tomar no cu. And like everyone's like chanting, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I love this. And they're teaching me that you can't ever go out of a Brazilian meal without the saideira, which is the drinky after your last drinky. Words like this exist. And saudade, this word that just means like a longing for life and for love that doesn't really exist in English, because of course in Brazil they have words that don't exist in English. And I'm just loving everything about this. And as I'm becoming more and more passionate about Brazil, I want to be more and more like them. And they start asking me questions about what it's like to be a Black American, which is great because I got this thing down. And they were like, well, why Bushy is your presidency? Bush was our president. And I was like, I don't know why Bush is our president. I didn't vote for that fool, you know? Don't ask me these kind of questions. Like, well, why America want to wage war? I was like, I don't know why. I mean, these are questions I can't even answer in English, let alone Portuguese. You know, like, what do I say? And so, and as I'm talking about this, I'm wanting to shed all of these things that are American, like the ego, the war, President Bush. I don't want to get rid of it all. I don't want to be affiliated with any of it. I just want to be more and more Brazilian. So I just keep on hanging out with them, learning their ways, just driving cars in the middle of the street, like, just not obeying any of the street lights, because that's waiting for a carjacking, FYI, 12 o'clock at night, don't do it, don't stop at red lights. And it's freeing, it's amazing. And so I continue hanging out with Rejane and Ivana, and finally there's this one day when we're going to this party way, way out, about an hour away from Rio de Janeiro. And we jump in a taxi, and we get to the party, and I finally see my people, the weed smokers. They're over in a corner. I befriend them immediately, and I start asking about the weed. Where did you get it from? Like, how do I get more? And they show me this little brick that looks like a little piece of shit, actually, with like seeds and sticks. And I was like, this is your weed? Like, I'm from San Francisco. This is horrible. But I'm gonna smoke it because I have it, and I haven't had weed in a long time. And so I'm loving this. I'm finally high, I'm doing my life, I'm doing everything. And then finally, we're heading back home. And as we're heading back home in the taxi, it's about an hour back into Rio de Janeiro. But on the side of the street, there's like this cop car. And the cop car is like pulling over like all of the vehicles that are coming from where we're, this part of town. And so the cop car, so we pull over and we're standing there, and the cop says, okay, can everybody please come out of the vehicle? And I turned to Ivana and Rejane, and I was like, why? And they're like, they're suspecting that we have drugs, so they're gonna search the car. And I was like, oh, okay. So I take my purse, I step outside, and then 3 other officers show up, 4 in total, and they're searching everything. They're looking under the hood. They're like looking under the tires. They're opening the glove compartments. They're talking to the driver, and I'm just like kind of sweating there, like, what are they doing? And Ivana is just like, just don't worry about it. Just just let them do their thing. And I was like, okay, this is kind of odd. But then they walk over to me and the rest of us, and they said, can we see your belongings, please? And I said, and I look at her like, why? Like, why would they do this? And they're like, because they can. And so I was like, okay. So I hand over my purse, and they start opening all the compartments. And they're opening my wallet. They're opening everything that I have, my tampon case, which just so happens to have a little bit of weed that I took from the party. And the police pick it up, and they turn to Ivana, and they said, what is this? And Ivana doesn't know anything about this. She said, I don't know, what is that? And they turned to me, and I was like, what had happened was, and now my Portuguese is broken down. I cannot say anything. I'm just like, I kind of, was at the party, and I was having a good time, and I'm from San Francisco. And they're like, what does that mean? I was like, everyone could smoke weed in San Francisco. They're like, you can't smoke weed here. And I was like, well, I was taking it from the party to Rio de Janeiro. And then the cop looks at me, and he takes Ivana and Rejane, and they walk away, and they start just like talking, and I'm not understanding anything. Bop, 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 bop. I don't know what the hell is going on. They come back to me, and Ivana says, Dawn, why are you lying? I was like, what do you mean, why am I lying? They're like, they think that você é traficante, that you are a drug trafficker. I'm like, why am I a drug trafficker? I have this much weed that looks like shit, that doesn't even taste good, And they're like, because you're taking weed from one place to another place. That's the definition of a traficante. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, please just get me out of this situation. I don't know what to say. I don't have the Brazilian way. I'm clearly not as Brazilian as you. Please just get me out of this situation. And so they start talking again, bap, 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 and I'm on the side of the road. The police realize that I'm American and that I probably have money, which I don't. But they are going to insist that I give them money. But I have nothing on me, so Ivana turns and she says, Dawn, you're gonna have to find some money some way. And I have one American friend in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a half hour away. I call her up, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I say, look, Katie, I gotta get some money, and quick. And she's like, well, what's going on? I was like, I can't explain, but I'm on the side of the road. These cops want some money from me, like right now. Can you please just hook a sister up? And she's like, yeah. And so I wait as Ivana, Hijani, and the driver leave me on the side of the road with 4 police officers to go drive back into Rio to go get money so that I can become free of being now a hostage. And I am shitting bricks because it is 1 o'clock in the morning. And now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Now it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And now it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't think that they're coming back for me. And I don't know if I'm gonna be locked up abroad. And the show isn't even out yet. So I am just waiting, and finally around 5 o'clock in the morning, a taxi car comes back. It's Ivana. She has the money. She hands it to the police officer, and I jump in the taxi, and I'm gone. And I'm pissed. I'm turning red. I'm mad. And I turn to her. I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, the police can just like open up the cars and just go through my shit? She's like, yes, they can open up your car and just go through your shit. I was like, why can they do that? And she's like, because they can. And I was just flabbergasted. I didn't know what to say because this entire time I was trying to be more Brazilian, more sexy, more gíria, more everything. At this moment, all I wanted was to know that I had some type of rights, and I didn't know anymore like who I was, or if I wanted to be American, or if I wanted to be Brazilian, or like what the hell. All I knew in that moment was that I was grateful for my freedom. Thank you.
Comes the world